Hey guys, so it's that time of year again where I talk about every single show I watched and put them into this cute little tier list. I watched 12 shows this year with varying qualities, all the way from F to B plus. A lot of good shows, some mid shows, and one really, really bad show. So let's start off with the negatives and work our way to the top. We have One Punch Man. That's an F. That show was awful. It's one of the worst things I've seen in my entire life. Give me 1 second. This is live. Excuse me. One Punch Man was awful. Um, the animation was worse than any of us could possibly imagine. Season two's animation wasn't the best, but it was serviceable. Season three completely dropped the bomb by having very little movement at all. A lot of it was still frames, and it hurt the pacing of the show. It lacked enthusiasm. There was no momentum. All of it was like basically looking at a comic book, except worse because they'd add these blue filters on it for no reason. It was a very bad experience watching the show, and I dropped it after 6 episodes, which I barely ever do with TV shows. Usually, I give it the entire season, but I couldn't even watch this. Man, it was awful. Um, and the worst part about it is that it took 6 years to make. How do you take 6 years to make a cartoon and it looks worse than the other seasons? I don't understand that. It was like some like money laundering scheme where they took the budget, they kept like most of it, and then used a tiny amount for actually making the show. It's like some weird funneling scheme or something. It was awful. I will not be watching season three, part two. Um, this show is an abomination. It's an affront to God. If angels see this, they'll weep. Um, so yeah, watching movies like Demon Slayer or Chainsaw Man kind of healed my soul after this train wreck. So the less talked about this show, the better. Let's move on to the next one. This is Power Play, a pretty little known show. Uh, on this app called Salty TV. Not exactly my demographic. I don't think it's made for people like me, not really into like cheesy romance stuff. But my friend Vince was in it, and honestly, he did a pretty good job. So I'm not going to judge this one too harshly because my. It's not really the type of show I would normally watch. I just watched it because he was in it. Also, same tier would be to Hollywood Heartthrob. Also, not my cup of tea. Not really something I would watch. But you know, there's nothing wrong with. Not everything has to be in my demographic tailored to my tastes, right? But like I said, I think Vince and some of the other actors did a great job. So it's it wasn't bad. Moving on to Doctor Who. So there's a slight trend with Doctor Who after the disastrous like seasons 11 and 12. Each season has been slightly better, but still not that good. 13 slightly better, 14 little bit better, 15 tiny little bit better. Honestly, this season would have been higher if it wasn't for that disastrous finale. Um, Sorry, bad part about having the sniffles and recording live. Anyway, um, I think the season had some good episodes. Like I liked Lux, I liked The Well, um, and Lucky Day was okay. But they also had some pretty bad episodes, like the premiere, and they had the uh, the finale. Of course, was awful. Also, the Bauble Shop episode, very bad as well. So, very mixed bag of a season. I thought Shruti Gatwa was good, but he wasn't exactly given the right writing to, you know, he wasn't exactly given the right rating for the Doctor, and he left after only 2 seasons. Which I could kind of see why. He wanted to do other things and hopefully better written things. But yeah, this season, honestly, slight improvement, but still pretty disappointing. and I don't like what they did with some of the villains. No spoilers, but they kind of nerfed them in a way. Moving on to the rule between the land and the sea. Like I said, this is a spin-off of Doctor Who, and it's slightly better than the show itself because every season has been a little bit better than the one that came before it, which gives me hope for the future. This one started off really good, and it's a good show because it's able to have these political undertones while still being exciting and stuff. A lot of what like made Classic Who really good, but the finale kind of dropped the ball. Pretty underwhelming way to end the show. However, I thought the performances were very good. I liked Barkley as a character. I loved Kate Stewart getting a lot more screen time. So while this wasn't exactly Torchwood level good, it was still enjoyable. Moving on to The Last of Us Season 2. This one is a pretty mixed bag. They took there was a few episodes that were good, like episode 2, episode 6, and a couple episodes had some decent moments. But it's let down by a bunch of bad moments as well. There is they basically took the second game, removed a lot of interesting stuff from it, interesting themes, interesting scenes, and added a bunch of stuff that nobody really cares about, like the whole council scenes, and there's a lot of scenes where they're just sitting around doing nothing. I feel like the game it was based on had a lot of very fast-paced action scenes, and it was always building to something else, or having a lot of good character beats at the same time. This doesn't really have anything going on. It just has Dean and Ellie sitting around saying, "Oh, I think I like you. I think I like you too." I don't know. I like the second game much better than the second season. Moving on to The Family Man. Oh yeah, also the finale of The Last of Us was shit. So yeah. Anyway, The Family Man, season 3. After 4 years of waiting, after an amazing season 2, I guess I had my hopes up a little too high because while the season wasn't awful, I feel like the time I spent rating, the longer you make somebody wait for something, the better they think it's going to be, or the higher the expectations are. This season, while it had its good moments, I feel like a lot of it was kind of meandering. There wasn't a sense of direction that the second season had or the full season had, and the villain wasn't as interesting. I liked, I liked Shree and his family, but besides them, I didn't really care about the other characters as much, which is unfortunate because I really liked the first 2 seasons. And the finale wasn't really a finale. It was just setting up season 3. So there wasn't even any like loose ends that were tied up. So pretty disappointing. Another common theme in this video is bad finales. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bad finales. But yeah, not the worst thing I've seen this year, but definitely a letdown after an amazing season 1 and 2. Moving on to Stranger Things season 5, the final season. Also kind of a letdown, but had its good moments as well. I think a lot of character moments were so well done, and the acting was great. And some of the twists were nice, like the episode 4 was one of the best episodes of the entire series, in my opinion. But there seems to be lack of stakes in it. Too many characters got into situations where you think they're going to die, and then a Deus Machina comes out of nowhere and saves them. I just feel like it would be more impactful if a couple more characters actually died while being put in this life-threatening situations. I know that makes me seem like I want all my favorite characters to die, which isn't technically true. I just wish some of them did. And I feel like the villain was defeated a little too easily. Though, like I said, I really liked the characters, and the acting was fantastic, especially by Jamie Campbell Bower. He was fantastic this season. Moving on to 1923, season 2, also the final season. This is Very good television. I wasn't a fan of the final season of Yellowstone just because the pacing was really bad and there wasn't really any plot lines I cared about. This one, the opposite. I thought it was great. The It's able to have a large cast of characters, but not really get lost in its own shuffle. And the performances all across the board are fantastic. You have experienced veteran actors like Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren and Robert Patrick and Timothy Dalton, and then you have newcomers like Spencer and his wife, and a couple of the other younger characters. The finale was honestly one of the best finales I've seen in recent memory. I thought it was did a great job of tying up all these loose ends. And yeah, it's a great show. It shows that not every show needs to last like 5 to 8 years. Sometimes 2 seasons is all you need. Moving on to Severance season 2. I enjoyed this as well. Besides that one episode where Colbell takes a day off and goes to that village, that one was kind of lame. If it wasn't for that one, this would be higher on the list. But it was still a very enjoyable season. The way it's shot is so unique. The concept's very unique, and the way they expand on the themes of season 1 while still building momentum and having a lot of good character moments and plot twists. It's great. The acting's amazing. Similar to 1923, you have your veteran actors like John Turturro, Adam Scott, Christopher Walken, but you also have newer actors who you haven't seen much, like Brett Lowell and the guy who plays Mr. Milchek. So honestly, a great show. Very excited for season 3. Hope it doesn't take another 3 years. Season finale was great and left you on a huge cliffhanger, so I'm very excited to see what happens next. Moving on to Daredevil Born Again. Gotta be honest, I was not expecting this to be as good as it was. Um, but I was worried they were going to Disneyfy it. Fortunately, they didn't do that. It definitely felt like an actual season 4 of the show. They kept the darker tone, which I like, and they have a lot of good villains. Uh, Charlie Cox is great as Daredevil / Matt Murdock. Could have used more Karen though. I really like Karen as a character. Hopefully, season 2 more. Wilson Fisk is fantastic. Vincent D'Onofrio, um, he's great. So yeah, enjoyable season of television. Not every episode was a hit, but I feel like most of them were. And I'm glad that we only have to wait a year between seasons instead of like 3 years. Looking at you, Severance, old 1923. Well, most of the others on this list. Okay, moving on to number 2, which is Andor. After the disastrous sequel trilogy, you could not have told me that a Star Wars show could be this good. This show was fantastic. Much darker than a lot of Star Wars. I feel like this is like if kind of like Star Wars meets Game of Thrones, but like the good seasons. Every character is so well developed, and there's a lot of tragedy in this series. So it has this like bittersweetness about it because you know that the rebels win eventually, but also all the sacrifices they have to make to get to that point. I think it really drives that point home. Every actor in the show does such a great job, especially like Stellan Skarsgård, Genevieve O'Reilly, Denise Goff. Everybody in the show is so good. So yeah, I was really happy they were able to nail that ending. The finale was great. Honestly, like the last 6 episodes were fantastic, especially the Mon Mothma's huge speech in the Senate. That was great. There's so many good moments like that, and every character gets the chance to shine. Moving on to the number 1 show of the year, which is Invincible. This is as great as it always has been, with sharp writing, beautiful animation, very well developed characters, some good plot twists, some good action scenes, pretty much everything you would want from a show like this. And I love it. I think it's amazing. Best show of the year, no contest. very excited for season full. Yeah, it's gonna be season full next. Um, kind of like Daredevil. I'm glad I don't have to wait 2 years like a lot of shows. So yeah, if you like the first two seasons, you would definitely like this one. And if you haven't seen them, I highly recommend them. I feel like this is the type of show that appeals to a lot of different demographics of people. So let me know down in the comments what your favorite shows from 2025 or what your least favorite shows have been. I'm not caught up on Dexter. I'm only 5 seasons in out of like fucking like 11 now, so that is not here. Um, but yeah, what else? What do you think I would like? What type of shows do you think I would be in? I would enjoy. And just thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic new year. And until next time, peace.